Hey guys, welcome back. Sorry we haven't been able to post much. We've just had a bunch of little odds and ends to do around the shop, and it was kind of just go, go, go. Didn't really have time to film, but a bunch of little things are wrapping up now, so let's catch you guys up on what we've been working on. All right, so we're gonna start today on Mike's car, I guess. Mike's car has been down for a hot second, unfortunately. Well, Bartek was here doing the HTG tuning for the transmission. He was making some link integration, so that way link can be basically plug and play with HTG. And what happened was while he was fiddling around with some stuff, the CAN communication went down for a second, and it unfortunately turned off the electric water pump. So the head basically boiled itself into oblivion. I think we cracked like 4 cylinders. Well, the head between valves. I guess we'll come take a look. Yeah, so this was kind of unfortunate. Shit happens. There was just some logic for the electric water pump over CAN, and when that went down, basically it just turned off and then it never turned back up on again. I don't know if you can see, there's a little crack in 1. There's a crack in 2. There's a crack in 3. 4 was kind of attempted to fix as a hilarious thing to see if it would work. And 5 as well, and there was a few micro cracks on other places as well. Cylinder 6, surprisingly, was the only one that didn't commit suicide. So just because of having the track day this weekend, we kind of have been, you know, go, 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 go. It was like we don't really have time to film since it's, you know, either Mike or I really filming. Kind of just had to say, okay, screw it, we got to get the car back up and running for this weekend. But yesterday we did finish, took it around for a drive. Everything's been sweet. It's driving good right now. Hopefully today Mike's gonna put some miles on it, really just break it in. It's like one of those things, you know, right when you finish, every time you go watt, you kind of just like quench your butt cheeks and you're like, oh, is it gonna work? Is it gonna work? And yeah, I think Mike's kind of in that mood right now. So he's got to put some miles on it, break her back in. Remember how it was in its glory days. So I think other than that, yeah, I mean, the rest of the car has been running. I think he did like floor pans or something because he was bored. So, you know, that's always good when you're doing mods because you're bored. But a little carbon floor tray, not bad. So yeah, Mike's car is ready. He's gonna put some miles on it, and let's jump outside and check out where my car's at. Even before we start, I guess, a good thing I wanted to show you guys was these are my new carbon floors, basically. So in the rule book, you basically cannot have a flat floor unless it came from the factory like that. And most cars have a pretty flat bottom with like cutouts for the exhaust. So that's basically exactly what I did. I just copied the aero shields that already exist on BMW, and then I added the 5 inches I was allowed for grid life on the outside, and basically made myself a flat floor, but it's still technically not flatter than the OEM. It just really, by doing this, because you're like, okay, well, if it's not flatter than OEM, then why did you waste a bunch of time making 1-inch foam core side skirts? What it allows me to do is change the Z height. So I can set the vehicle rake how I want it, front to back. Since the splitter is so much closer to the ground, I'm running like 3 inches in the front of ground clearance and then 4.5 inch in the rear. So that gives me a 1.5 inch rake, which is pretty good for big power cars, anything that, you know, needs a little bit more front end grip. It kind of is pointing down. You could go to like under 1 inch for a more maybe neutral setup, but she needs all the front grip she can get. So I'm actually gonna slap these Bad Larry's back on. Cool thing about these, so what we did is on the inside of the vehicle, I have these hat sections here, and I welded an L bracket off the body. So basically what I do is I just pick up this whole thing, slide it in, attach it to the two L brackets, and it kind of hangs by itself. And then on the outside, I have just actual 3D printed spacers, so I can change heights and stuff like that. Well, it's not, nah, it's a spacer, but it's like 2-inch spacer. So 3D printed some stanchions, I guess is probably a better term, to like fixture the outside. So it's pretty robust, and I'm not gonna lie, they look freaking sweet. We took some IndyCar carbon fiber from eBay's, because what else are you gonna do? And kind of made some air strakes to divert air around the rear tires. That was kind of just like a sweet $30 purchase on eBay. Cannot go wrong with eBay carbon fiber. There will be much more eBay carbon fiber going on. I want to do, I know like on all the new Porsches, Emotion Engineering, a bunch of companies sell strakes for underneath Porsches that basically mount to their flat floor and divert air around the front wheel wells as well. From the bottom, kind of divert some air out, keep the air attached underneath the car. So I think I have another set of similar strakes like this that I want to use right after the front tires as well, to kind of keep the air from going in the back and then cleaning that up and bringing it out around the front tires. So enough of me rambling, let's get these on the car. Guys, look at how destroyed this bumper is getting. God, she's so beat up. All right, I think I'm gonna start with what probably every other comment on YouTube is about, and that is, how is Wagner doing? Post some screenshots after I start rambling a little bit with the exact deltas down in the corner, but I mean, this is phenomenal. Phenomenal. I think I just said phenomenal. Phenomenal. We leave for the track in 2 days, so I'm gonna have like actual track testing as well. The first stuff is all on the street. Just I've been dailying the crap out of it for the past few days. Honestly, zero complaints. This thing is fantastic. Air intake temps are barely budging. I'm doing full pulls. I'm doing back-to-back pulls. I'm running around like chicken with the head cut off. But I'm the biggest critic when people say that as well, and really the track does all the talking. So we'll know more in the next video probably, or maybe 2 videos, just when we actually get on track and really start testing. But other than that, I mean, the fitment's great. I got this one custom pipe, like we said in the other video. The manifold, totally stock. J-pipe, just buy a J-pipe for an F80. Weld on a blow-off valve. Not the end of the world. Any shop can do that. Use your original throttle body. All your bar sensor is still the same. The coolant bottle still the same. You do have to weld on AN bungs for the front two, because you're going to run a different front heat exchanger. Mine is CSF. It's phenomenal. I almost said phenomenal again. Guys, it's the morning. I'm trying to do this while the sun's still just barely up. It's nice out. No one's at the shop to distract me or make a bunch of noises. So I'm trying to do this in the morning, but I don't think my brain is really firing on all cylinders yet. So, but back to Wagner. Still running this Davies Craig water pump. I currently have it, just I literally come in before I start the car. This is not the final iteration, but I plug it in, it runs 100% all the time. Doesn't matter. Draw is very minimal. She's built to last. So that is for now. I'm going to get it probably just on an ignition switch, like when HCG turns on from the key and run position, I'll have it flag that. Some changes that I'm actually doing to the car is speed. Oh shit. I was right. It is Speed Steam Motorsports. And so this is the new EKP board. You know, give me this for free or anything. We bought a bunch. We're going to be reselling them, but they deserve a shout out because this is super nice and I'm really impressed with their product. But so this is a dual relay EKP module. So you basically undo your EKP, just plug this one right in. They come with harnesses and everything for your second fuel pumps and stuff. and then there's a little program you just plug in with your computer. You download their software, and you can set how you want to trigger your second fuel pump. So I don't have to run a Hobbs switch anymore. I can do things like turn it on by torque values, boost values, speed. They have a few options, so that's going to be really nice. And the torque one's going to be probably what we'll actually end up using. It's just more predictable, and then you can really dial in fueling from there. Well, everyone's about to hit a car crash. It's a parking lot. Cal's showing up to work. See, this is where nothing gets done anymore, guys. All right, so I'm trying to think of what else you guys missed, and a big one was I've been daily in the car for a few days, and I was having like wastegate issues / like boost controller issues / like it just wasn't making boost down low. It would creep. It was acting like no boost controller. Boost was basically a linear curve as you went through the RPM. You know, it started at like 7, and it did make its way all the way to like 25, but it was like super linear. And we thought we were having some torque issues, torque limitation issues, because right now the car is flashed to DCT, but the dash is still flashed as a manual. So there's CAN communication issues, which basically makes the fan run at 100%. There could be worse things, but the car internally knows that something's wrong. So it's just like, it's not putting itself in limp mode, but it's putting itself in like, hey, something's wrong mode. So it's kind of like a low power mode. And we've been battling that for a few days, and finally Ken, at Wedge Performance, the tuner, and Richard Dodd, they have been in a group chat with me. Those guys have been super helpful, but they were like, look, we'll code it out. Basically, we're going to go in deep. We'll code out all your torque limitation issues, anything related to coolant limitations. Basically, we're going to make the car just run full bore no matter what. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it, let's do it. And they did it, and the car just still didn't make boost. And I'm like, okay, that's weird. So for all you single turbo guys, you know, you got a max solenoid, you do some plumbing from the wastegate to the turbo. I basically have to look it up every single time. You use like boost pressure to keep the wastegate closed, and then the Mac oscillates it to let out pressure and stuff like that so that it can control actual boost. So I said, you know what? Screw the Mac, screw the logic. We're gonna plumb the turbo right to close the wastegate, and it's gonna be like a diesel, and it's just gonna make full boost, and I just won't be an idiot. I'll just tap in, throttle at like 3,000 RPM. It should just make boost no matter what, because there is no boost controller, and it didn't do anything. So I was like, okay, well that's really weird. That means like I got a wastegate issue. And we're trying to blow air. Like using a vacuum thing, we're blowing air with the wastegates on, and still it's just not moving. I'm like, all right, fuck it, I'll take it off. And when I take it off, this chunk of metal falls out of the wastegate. Now, I love CES. They are freaking awesome. They make the best manifold in the world. But yeah, the welds on the end broke, and it kind of got stuck in the wastegate, and then the wastegate just never shut, making boost. So, yeah, damn it. It took like 3 days all just for this chunk of metal. I am ignorantly lucky that this did not find its way back into the turbo and decided to and just, you know, go boom. Luckily, the manifold is a twin scroll, so you have, you know, your divider to the turbo. That one's still good. It was actually the divider for the wastegate, which I think is overkill. Twin scrolling your wastegate probably has no benefits. So CS was like, well, you can tack this in here or just throw it away. So we're just going to choose to put it on the shelf, and this will just be a painful story. But while I was in there, guys, you've missed so much. I'm just on a ramble today. I currently have Plex boost controller, and I love it. It's sweet. It's CAN communication. I can do boost by gear, boost by pedal position, a bunch of shit. Ignore my wiring right now. Their center console's out. It's got a nice screen. It has a bunch of built-in features. I can control PID for boost. It is awesome. When Ken was helping me go through everything, he was like, well, hey, you know that MHD can just do that now. And I was like, what? And so MHD has a new feature for single turbo guys where you just move bank 1 upstream into the bank 2 downstream hole, and then you plug both upstreams. You remove bank 2 upstream, bank 1 goes down, and then you plug both holes in the manifold. So basically it's like every other single turbo car in the world. You're reading after the turbo, so then you don't have any weird pressure calculations and stuff like that all the OEM can control. But what deleting the O2s does is for the DME is you can move one wire, and then basically they use some hardware on the board to, instead of controlling the O2s, it then controls the max solenoid. So now I can go back to like true OEM wastegate control, PID controlling, all of that, and then it's controlled right through MHD. End user doesn't have as much customability with it, but it will be, I think, a more refined method for people to control boost. It'll be, I think, better in the long run. And realistically, how often do I play with the PID controlling of the boost control? Not very often. I kind of changed a few things, did a few runs, and then I was like, well, that's cool. But Ken's going to be able to do that, and you know, he's smarter than me with N54 stuff, so I'll let him finagle with that. Yeah, maybe we'll just go for a rip. I'll hook up some GoPros. Mike's car's driving. The goal to end this video, I guess, is, because I've been probably rambling for God knows how long now, is go get the cars driving. I think after that, oh, look at the... Well, there's a bunch of BMWs showing up. This is how Mike and I can hear each other. Because other than that, we can't hear fucking shit. All right, so we made it out for a drive, and just like everything we do in life right now, one of the GoPros just went flying. So if you live in Michigan, it's somewhere down Romeo Blank or 29 Mile Road, so that was pretty lame. But I figured since it's been like a year since I've actually washed this thing, and it's like fairly nice out, it's cloudy. Mike's diffuser is just disgusting, that after a successful drive, we should have a successful car wash. So enjoy the car wash, and then in the next video, we'll be at the track, and I think we'll do like a little build breakdown of each of the cars while we're there. Kind of just a recap of everything since shit's changed so much over time. That's a good power wash angle from Sean right there. Love that Acura NSX GT3 real diffuser. This probably costs more than most people's cars, and you probably can't even hear me right now. So I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Testing aerodynamics.
This wasn't a fat wreck. You can see over here, got it repaired too.
Mike wants to see his repair jobs.
Look at that.
So much ADHD going on.
Love it. All right, Sean, hit the arrow.
Oh wow.
Wow. Look at that.
The separation.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna help with the draft. We need colored water.
All right, now let's see the back one. Oh yeah.
Oh, it does actually kind of look like it's deflecting off the tire a little bit.
That's nice. Get in there. Oh yeah. Aerodynamics, fellas. Creme de la creme. This is exactly how BMW engineers do it.